At the beginning of the 20th century, for unexplained reasons, world's coffee consumption increases 20 times. This phenomenon, called coffee mania, reached its peak in the 1940s and caused a huge turmoil in the global economy.
The world of 2021 is ruled by coffee, and Neo-London goes crazy for it.
Okay.
They say that in this job only two cases matter. The one that breaks you and the one that makes you. Makes you a real cop.
Oh, I had to advance it.
I'm Arthur Oliver, and I'm a private investigator. But I used to be a cop here in Neo-London.
Neo-London.
I quit 10 years ago. I failed. I hope I'd never come back here. I read about Richard Kersey's disappearance in the papers on a train journey. Coffee tycoon vanishes. The front page headline of the Neo-London Espresso screamed. For many, Kersey was a wealthy celebrity buffoon, pure envy. They lost contracts and profits to him. They even lost their reputations as he dragged competitors through the courts. And me, I lost a lot more to him. Catherine, my beloved, and his wife. 10 years ago, Richard was involved in a spot of bother. He had a debt. Unfortunately for him, it was Kath who received the demands for payment. Kersey happened to be abroad at the time, totally out of reach. She got scared and tried sorting it out herself, in cash. She asked me for help. I couldn't do it in my official capacity, but I took my gun and set up a sting. It ended tragically. A few days ago, Henry called, Richard's older brother. He sounded down, just like me.
Okay, I know all about it, Arthur. You quit the force, you're still tormented by Kath's murder. Listen, Richard's daughter doesn't have to know anything about you two, nor Richard. But I'm begging you, help me find him. I'll give you a flat to live in, some cash, and a cover story that you're a salesman. Just come, please.
So I'm in Neo-London again. The business with Catherine broke me. So maybe the case with Richard will be the one to make me a real cop again. Richard's disappearance was big news. There was speculation about mafia involvement, either Italian or Yakuza. I think there might be something in that. Little Clarabelle, Richard and Kath's daughter. The last time I saw her was at her mother's funeral. I wanted to comfort her. Now it looks like it's her who wants to comfort me. She's so like her mother, especially her eyes. Can't forget watching the life draining out of Catherine's eyes. On the way to the hotel, Clarabelle told me her father might have been kidnapped by an angry competitor. It's a possibility. Kersey did all sorts of weird deals with even weirder people. Maybe one of them had enough of Richard's caprices. Over the phone, Clarabelle confirmed what Henry had promised. There was a flat and a position as a salesperson in their family business.
I bet you
That was to make investigating easier.
they're selling coffee.
Fair enough. Let it be. If that's what the investigation demands, I'll become the best damn salesperson in Neo-London.
Damn straight.
I'll help Clarabelle with her business. I'll find Richard. I'll find your killer, Kath. I won't let you down twice. Promise.
In Neo-London itself, there are hundreds of coffee roasting plants, coffee providers, and company. Okay, I can't read all that. Alright, we're seeing tips. Tips on coffee. coffee soda, coffee spa, coffee overdose? Nonsense. You can sleep when you're dead. Coffee soda. Nice. Alright.
Dear Arthur, thank you again for agreeing to work on this case in such unusual circumstances. As I mentioned during our last meeting, Uncle Henry and I suspect that one of my father's business partners must be involved in his disappearance, or at least knows something about it. We believe it would be best to work undercover and meet them offering a delivery contract. It's also better that a private investigation will remain as a secret. Check out the instructions I've left you and look around in your office. After that, meet me at my cafe. See you soon.
Alright, tutorial. Welcome to the office. This place is command center, your company, and the investigation you are conducting from the office. And the investigation you are conducting, period. From the office view, you can jump to all game sections and you have a preview of the main results, such as cash, costs, and revenue. Here you'll find the main financial results this week. When you hover over a given result, you'll see its explanation. This information gives you an overview of your business situation. This menu, you have access to the main sections of the company, the last report and tutorial. I want to investigate, not run a business. You can also go to the main sections of the company by clicking on the elements of the office if it's more convenient for you. You can check the list of required tasks on this board during the gameplay. New tasks may appear on it. Click the list to view. Meet with her, sign a contract, find connection between two clues. Optional, collect cash of at least 200,000. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Okay. Oh no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to skip the tutorial. Click here to open the sales section. This section you find information about available customers interested in the company's offer. In this section, you will find information about available customers interested in your company's offer. They are also suspects in your investigation. In each chapter of the story, you will find other customers here. Your goal is to meet with every customer and sign a coffee supply contract. Thanks to this, you will not only get funds to support your business, but you'll also get clues in your investigation. She's the first customer interested in her offer. Each customer reports a demand for a specific brand of coffee with a certain level of quality. To be able to attend a meeting, you must start producing coffee that the customer wants to buy. To meet with the client, additional conditions must be met as listed above. Okay. Since all conditions are met, you can go to the meeting now. Okay. Let's do it. She's a student and works at a family cafe coffee. She wanted to earn some money of her own and help conduct a business. Clarabelle is a modest, sensitive, and warm-hearted dreamer. Sometimes she has her head in the clouds, which was the reason she was laughed at by her peers. Her excessive trust and gullibility are some of her biggest flaws. Her exhaustible faith in people is a little puzzling. She went through the tragic death of her mother after her father went missing. She's trying to do everything she can to find him. Tutorial: business meetings. Much of the in-game conversations are business meetings where you offer your company's products and negotiate the price. An interview with Clarabelle will help you better understand your tasks and summarize the collected information. Choose from available. Oh, I should start the timer. Choose from available phrases to start the conversation.
Hello, Miss Clarabelle. The cafe looks great. Really bright, cozy, homely.
Hello. Thanks. The decor was my father's work. He was very careful to create a friendly atmosphere. Please don't call me miss.
Sorry, it's your hairstyle. You look so young, I couldn't help myself. But fine. First names only.
Great. let's get down to business.
I want to ask about your childhood. I know there are painful memories, but it's important for the case.
All right. I've had time to get some distance on it. How can I help?
Tell me, how you coped after your mother's death.
Well, not too well. Dad hated talking about it. He worked a lot, went away a lot. And me? I remember lying there, crying. Mr. Pensy was with me. He took my temperature, brought me cups of tea. I was alone.
Any friends? School psychologist?
I had this one friend, Amy. She came to cheer me up a couple of times, but I think I wore her out. I was incredibly shy as a child. The school psychologist sent me to a psychiatrist for medication. I was supposed to go there with an adult, but it never happened.
Why? Something changed? Something got better?
Yeah, you could say it was thanks to Mr. Van Haven.
Hold on, I'll write this down. Who was it?
Joseph Van Haven, Dad's friend from college. He and his wife Amanda offered to take care of me, together with his housekeeper. I was to sleep at my home, spend the day with them, mainly with Mrs. Fink, the housekeeper. Dad immediately agreed.
And you? Did you have any say in it?
I was a bit scared at first, but they were really nice. They were like my family. They still are.
Thanks, Clarabelle. That's a lot of help. Can you give me a contact number for Van Haven and Fink? I'd like to ask them a few questions.
Sure, here you go.
Man, the
Great.
food here looks
Who do you think I
good.
should meet first?
Mr. Van Haven. Visit him posing as a sales rep. Sell him some coffee. He's a really nice guy and a good candidate for checking your abilities.
Investigative abilities?
Business and negotiating. Remember that you operate undercover and you must be credible. Only then will investigative skills come in handy.
What should I know about Richard's disappearance?
Neither I nor Uncle Henry have a clue what happened to my dad. Have you looked at the materials from the last meeting? Everything I know is in there.
I'm not sure I'm a negotiator. How can I learn? Can it be learned?
Of course. Start with the handbook I gave you. The techniques in there are enough to get you your first clients. They won't be too demanding. After that, well, you know, practice makes perfect.
Did you have to say that?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
I
don't
couldn't
like
help myself.
practicing. Practicing's for something, I don't know.
Explain the basics about running a business to me. Better still, as a manager, shouldn't I have a competent deputy? Then I can concentrate on, being a boss, and the deputy makes sure we don't go under.
Last time you said you always worked solo.
Me? Are you thinking of someone else? There are lots of detectives called Oliver.
Take it easy, Arthur. No deputies. We don't have the cash for it. Start by visiting all the departments. You'll learn how to establish the scale of production, audit advertising activity, and plan expenditure, as well as team building and managing people.
Huh. So, I might find a deputy?
Of course. I'm sure you'll pick it all up faster than you imagine. A lot of our processes are automated, so you're not likely to cause any catastrophes.
You're sure good at encouragement. Okay, I'll give it a go. How do I set up a meeting with a client?
You can't just charge straight at it. First, you have to have a credible business proposition. To prepare that, you need to know what the client needs.
They always want the same. Something cheap and high quality.
More or less, but it's a little more subtle than that. Give this list of Dad's contacts to the people in the management department. They'll set up the first meetings for you and get the clients interested, so you can practice your sales pitch.
So, then I go and see them and close the deal. Is that all?
That's about the half of it. Before meeting them, you have to find out who you're dealing with, so you know how to approach them. Preparation is vital to good negotiating. By assigning specific tasks to employees, you can get interesting information about clients that will be helpful during the meeting.
I see. Is there anything in this work that isn't vital?
This sounds complicated.
Sure, a gun license for start.
So, where do we get the coffee from?
The production department sees to that. Using the console in your office, you decide how much of a given brand to produce in a given week. You'll be starting with a single type, classic standard.
Okay. Then
Classic
what?
standard.
Later, you can start working on other brands because different clients have different needs. It's also worth making production more efficient. It's costly and can hold up production, but it pays off in the long term. You have to keep an eye on production costs and warehouse levels.
Warehouse. Okay, I think I've got all that. How do I run my team?
It's like this. In the management board, you assign tasks to groups and how many hours per week they have to complete them. Neglecting tasks, i.e. managing production or account management, can lead to production failure or suspension of deliveries.
Ooh, man.
Make sure employees are busy.
Okay, what else?
Lead acquisition and due diligence will allow you to arrange meetings and get valuable information about your clients that will be useful during a business meeting.
Okay, let's say I manage to sell something. What then?
You can also assign project management tasks. Each production upgrade or marketing campaign is treated as a project that needs to be taken care of. Staff training helps develop their competences.
That's just what I wanted to ask about. Where do I get new employees from?
The relevant forms are in the HR department. We always have a few candidates for employment waiting in the wings.
Okay.
I guess I should also be overseeing the costs and expenses. Where do I find out about that?
Finance. A detailed list of income and expenditure is in the profit and loss account.
What if there's nothing in my account and I need a loan?
You can borrow money, but only up to the company's debt limit.
Clarabelle, did you ever hear of a detective in debt?
Nope, but I've read of a few.
What if I need to advertise a product? I might get to more people that way.
Advertising campaigns are available from the marketing department. Remember to choose the right campaign type for the specific brand of coffee. A well-chosen campaign will increase brand awareness and demand for your products.
After my first meeting, I might need a campaign like that. Just a little one.
Have more faith, Arthur. We'll do some more negotiating training first.
Seeing as I'm managing people, I'll have to assess their work and look after them. How do I learn how to do that?
Everything about HR
Sounds like a
can be
bad
found in metal
plan.
cabinets.
This whole thing is
First
a
of
bad
all,
plan.
Make sure to motivate your staff. It improves their work levels.
Bad plan.
Dissatisfied workers work badly and often leave.
Let's move on. Can I train a team like you're training me now?
Sure, in this same section, you can access lessons on improving your employees' competence.
Ooh, that sounds good. I like competence.
I don't really know the London coffee market. In fact, I don't really know anything about any market. How do I work out what coffee to produce and who to sell it to? Where do I find information about current and potential clients?
In the sales section, look into the computer. You'll find contacts to clients, what brand of coffee they buy, and whether there is an appointment arranged.
Let's say I'm feeling well
Can I
prepared.
eat all the snacks?
What then?
Then it's time for a business meeting. Just dress up right and get to the right place on time.
One more thing. Let's say I sign a contract on poor terms. Then I become a better negotiator, and I don't like the contract anymore. Can I break it?
During the meeting, you can always opt out of signing the contract, or simply stop the conversation and leave. If after signing you do not assign employees to service the contract, the client will terminate the cooperation after some time.
I know everything now.
I know everything.
Yes, we have to practice contract negotiating. As it happens, I need a fresh delivery. Let's roleplay the scene where you offer me a contract. Ready?
Couldn't be readier. Let's start.
I'm not ready.
I think I'm ready. Let's try a negotiation and point out anything I get wrong. And when I recover from that, you can give me some more tips.
Okay, let's begin negotiating.
Okay. I got this. Good morning. I've come about your coffee supplies, namely the classic standard. We can offer competitive terms and, what was next?
No, if you start like that, there's no way you'll succeed. You have to be prepared for negotiating and know what to start the conversation with. Improvising is okay too, but it has to be snappy.
I can do snappy.
Great, show me.
Good morning. As we agreed, I've prepared a contract to supply classic standard coffee. Would you like to go over the details?
That's not too bad, but clients don't always want to get right down to business. It's worth creating a friendly atmosphere and demonstrating goodwill.
It's supposed to be
Want to try?
snappy.
Friendly and goodwill. That's me. Good morning. Is that coffee cake? That smells good enough to stop traffic.
Really? Thanks for saying so. We just finished baking it. Here it is.
Wow, it looks better than it smells. Did you make this, Miss Clarabelle Kersey, I presume? I've come to talk to you about coffee supplies.
Not bad, Arthur. A well-judged compliment can work wonders. But some clients don't like them. Now do you see why doing your research on the customer is so important?
Yes, I knew you liked baking cakes, so I could mention it, but it's only a small thing from your private life.
Precisely. Everything can be useful during negotiations.
Hey, their attitude's 100%.
Can we move on to establishing the terms of the agreement? What does a contract like this look like?
Here's a standard contract. Here, look.
Whoa. That looks complicated. Attention to how costs and generated profit change at different price settings. Oh. You can freely set the price. Oh, look at that. Impossible. Cheap deal. What do we want? Let's go with a normal. The highest normal we got.
Good, that looks acceptable. Be prepared that the client will want to renegotiate the terms here. Assume that they're going to ask for a price lower by this percentage. How are you going to persuade me your offer is already attractive enough?
After the customer response with a counteroffer. You may choose phrases and negotiate techniques so that the price discount is as low as possible and therefore the price per unit as high as possible.
Look at the unit cost, though. It's already ridiculously low. For an initial contract, the terms are really excellent.
Using this technique is a good idea. Avoid using words like ridiculous, though. You'll often have to calculate exactly what you can concede or what else you can do to close the deal and still make money.
You want a lower unit cost. We can do that, but only under certain conditions.
Such as?
We can do it if you order 3 times this amount, or if you extend the period of the agreement. That's the only way it's worthwhile for us.
Those are pretty steep demands.
Perhaps it's better to consider the initial price again.
I feel a little backed up against a wall. I don't feel like you're treating me like an equal partner. The tactic can be effective, but it's risky. They might see you as being rude and you'll lose the chance of further contacts.
This tutorial would make you hard quit the game.
Let's look at the price in relation to quality. Everything about our coffee's top drawer. Taste, aroma, and certification. Coffee like that at a price like this is a real bargain.
Let's assume I will agree for such discount. Every supplier claims his or her coffee is the best. How are you going to support your claims so they don't come across like empty boasts?
Some facts and figures to prove that this discount is a sensible bargain.
There you go, Arthur. That's how you support your credibility and generate client trust. But it would be better if you actually knew some data. For a first go at negotiating, that went pretty well. Let's say I'll sign the contract, but I have one more proposal. The first month's batch for lower price. Agreed?
Last requests, eh? I like that technique too, but I'm afraid I can't do it. Let's stick to what we established.
That's a risky step. Revealing the client's tactics can work, but you have to be sure that's what they're up to. Otherwise, you can upset them and lose the deal. I think that covers everything. Now it's time to put it into practice, both as a business person and a negotiator. Make sure you swat up on the materials and look at this week's tasks.
Oh, I don't want to swat up on
Thank
materials.
you. I'm sure it will all prove helpful in this investigation
Like
and in
peanut
finding
butter.
your father. See you soon, Clarabelle.
Thanks, Arthur. It means a lot to me. Now it's up to you, and I think you're the last hope I've got.
Yeah, I did it. Wait, I don't remember giving her a discount. Oh, when the customer agrees, they will sign. Sign. Bam. Okay.
I should sum up what happened after that meeting.
A new part of the story is discovered. Click on the comic icon to see the fragment of the story that got and get clues for the investigation board. Viewing the comic is required to proceed to the next turn. After the conversation, a new part of the story. Click on the file icon. Alright. You're watching any work simulation at work.
Someone important lives here. That's what the Kersey home seemed to be saying. This is where the investigation begins. Walking in, Clarabelle hugged herself. From the cold, cute. Clarabelle only slept here, though. After her mother's death, she was taken in by Joseph Van Haven, her father's friend, who treated her like his own daughter. His wife tried. Mostly, though, she left her to the housekeeper, Mrs. Fink. Why did the Van Havens raise the Kersey kid? A friendly favor? Guilt. The servant greeted Clarabelle with a stack of unopened letters. She stuffed them into her bag and went inside. A lot to catch up, I joked. And Clarabelle explained that she no longer lives in the residence with her beloved. I asked for a family photo of the Kerseys. There was an exotic-looking guy in the midst of a sea of pale Brits. Mr. Gabriel was an artist who taught Clarabelle to draw. He looked pretty stiff, probably trying to avoid her dreamy eyes. In the living room, among many works of art, a spot after a taken-down painting drew my attention. It was a peculiar view. Clarabelle told me the painting belonged to her mother. One day, Richard simply packed it up and took it to Joseph. Did he want to sell it? Hide it? I didn't get a chance to ask. Clarabelle answered an urgent call and, apologizing, left in a hurry. I went to gather my thoughts. Catherine's death, Richard's disappearance, the unusual arrangements with the Van Havens, that picture. Clarabelle was right. A detective was needed here. But I have my own reason for this. To get Catherine's killer. All in good time. The last lead is Richard's disappearance. Perhaps the best-known coffee supplier in London.
Beans. It says beans. Right there.
I'll start by entering into his world. That means turning into a businessman. My first customer will be Richard's old friend and Clarabelle's ward, Joseph Van Haven. Clarabelle gave me his address and phone number. He's an old, experienced trader. I'd better prepare thoroughly. I need to check the investigation board.
I've banished the other new clues. More material added to the investigation board. Okay. Alright. New clues. As you learn part of the story, you gain new clues and information on your investigation. Click here to open the investigation
Now I need to set the new
section.
clues and data on the board.
Here you can collect and analyze all clues and information about the investigation. Try to familiarize with each gathered clue and its description. The collected information will help you rebuild the course of events and discover the whole story. Overdue letters. Drawing teacher. Empty space on wall. Every time you get new clues, it will flash. Click here to transfer them to the main board. Click on the clue to view the details. Key observations always contain a few marked details. It's worth analyzing them. Some of the clues can be combined with others. By associating facts, you can obtain new conclusions and thoughts regarding the investigation. New people you learn about appear in this tray. Man, he looks evil. Look at him. He looks evil. Look at how evil he looks in that picture. Dang, look at all these people. Who are these? The exclamation point next to the photo indicates unread information. New information may also appear in previously discovered characters as the investigation progresses. Click. Oh my god. Oh my god. Find all information. Check out the current tasks. Start new brand production. Espresso standard. Set up a business meeting. Meet with Joseph and sign a contract. Find connection between two clues. Okay. Click here to open the sales tab. Pay attention to the condition of the coffee in stock. Always make sure you have the stock of coffee for the next delivery to keep producing just in time. By delivering a full order, you will immediately receive this amount. It's your revenue. The real profits for this batch is made after deducting the previously incurred production costs. You have enough product to meet him. You have to make preparations. Each customer reports a demand. You be able to attend the meeting. You must start producing the coffee. Meet the client. You need it. Coffee in stock. Arrange meeting. Find information about client 1 and 2. All right. This is so complicated. The section sets the volume of coffee for a given week. The console allows you to actively determine the number of packages ready for sale. It allows you to control costs for each quantity, starting modernizations, and display the quantity of goods in the warehouse. The important thing is to make sure that the quantity of product in the warehouse or its ongoing production is enough to cover current sales. A new client is interested in espresso standard coffee. Click here to start producing this brand. Alright, so I have to pay to upgrade. Set your production value to 16 units. Alright. Pay attention to whether you have enough goods for the next delivery in accordance with the signed contract. The dispatch will go to the warehouse next week. You need to set up production in advance to have stock. Total cost value will be deducted from your cash amount at the end of the current week. Pay attention to the average cost. By producing more, it is lower in the long run and pays off to produce more and sell your stocks. Alright. Well, I want to make more then. Current production volume will go to the warehouse in the coming week if your employees take care of everything. Alright, now I have to assign employees. The main thing is to not neglect tasks. Okay. They have work satisfaction. We got a Brant, a Bob, and a Bernadette. Failure risk, very high. That's not good. Oh, because there's no employee assigned to it. That's why. Okay. And setting activities in each section, click the hourglass to go to the next week. Okay. These are the steps. Okay, the tutorial is now officially over. I can assign her to both of these, right? Then I can assign you to delivery. Assign... Find information about client. Wait. I can't set up a meeting though, can I? I don't want to overwork that person, so we'll not do that. Maybe we have to do that. I don't know. Nope. Nope. Go away. Alright, we did that. What's this? We can hire people. Look at all these nerds. Look at all these nerds. There's so many nerds. So many nerds.
I think that's all I've got for now. Let's see if there are any connections.
So many nerds. Alright. My profit is negative right now. That's not good. I don't like having negative profit. That's bad. I get a loan. Alright, let's go. See what happens.
So, what's going on in this company?
Value, he recently became a father of a lovely little daughter. This information can be used during conversations to gain advantage in negotiation or the client's favor. Alright, so now I have gained, I don't think I've gained enough information yet. Yeah, I need to gain another piece of information, and I need to arrange a meeting. Okay. So let's look at our production again.
I think that's all I've got for now. Let's see if there are any connections.
Go down to 8. We can upgrade our production line. We can do, well, that's not, we don't need to do that stuff yet. Yeah, let's work him overtime.
I think I forgot about this week's delivery.
What are you talking about? Oh, I didn't hit that button.
I think I didn't set the production properly.
Oh,
I need to plan my actions.
Oh, I had it set properly, and then I realized I had to send it out. Okay. Oh, I've exceeded the what? Okay. Alright. There, can I go to next week now? Thank you. Yeesh. I think I should have set this to easy.
So, what's going on in this company?
The warehouse is almost full. He studied at the London School of Economics. Alright. Okay, let's not produce this week. Oh wait, we do need to produce the,
Someone place an order. The deal isn't great, but it's a chance for some extra cash.
a new independent customer has placed a one-time delivery order for espresso standard coffee. Alright. Wait, is this a good deal? Oh, price per unit. Okay. Alright, now we're gonna go for this meat. Can we save the game right now? Save. Because I screw up. It says screw it up. There, you get the day off, Brant. Hope you're happy. He recently became a father of a little daughter, and he studied at the London School of Economics. I like how it tells us that stuff right at the screen where we're about to meet him. That I give a thumbs up to that.
Good morning, Mr. Van Haven. Arthur Oliver. I'd like to talk to you about our coffees. Clarabelle Kersey recommended I speak to you. She said she knows you well.
Ah, yes. Welcome. Welcome. Naturally, I was expecting you after Clary phoned. Sweet girl, isn't she?
Lovely. Actually, really lovely, considering what she's been through at such a young age. The stuff about her parents. It's true, isn't it?
Sadly, yes. A terrible, brutal thing for such a child. You see, her parents were friends of mine. After Catherine died and Richard usually been absent, my wife and I did all we can to provide a normal upbringing for her. You've seen yourself how, despite all this, Miss Kersey is doing very well.
Oh, yes, and she's a tough negotiator.
I taught her well. She could always get you to read for one more hour, go for one more walk, or give her a bigger portion. It comes in very useful as an adult, but you don't have all day to listen about the young Kersey girl. Let's take a look at what you brought with you. I can't wait to see.
Nice photo. From your student days?
Yes. Being young is wonderful when the world is your oyster.
What am I talking about?
You speak as if it's over.
What? You mean I don't look like it? You are a card, Mr. Oliver. Well, I do try to move a bit so as to not become totally desk-bound.
It shows. And the man next to you, isn't that Richard Kersey?
The very same. He was my best friend at university and since. And these are our charming wives. Actually, our fiancés then. Catherine Seeger and Amanda Okote.
You look a close bunch.
We were, then, but life writes strange scenarios. The best of friends can fall out over the silliest things, and other people are worth forgetting.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We're talking.
I keep the picture to remember the good times. Let's return to the here and now. Mr. Oliver, things are looking up.
Things are looking up.
Congratulations on the birth of your daughter. I hope both the mother and baby are doing well.
Ah, thank you. Both in good health, and so similar. I tell you, they look like sisters. It's amazing how a person passes on their genes and then watches as they live their own life.
It seems you're enjoying your new role.
Not at first, but it's getting better and better. Despite my super condition, I'm not as young as I was, and the little one demands so much attention, just like our business. Let's get down to it, shall we?
Should I get down to it? Or ask about...
I heard you graduated from the London School of Economics.
Ah, good times.
Well, that's a lot of
Young,
text.
confident, sure of yourself. It was tough at times, but what do you expect from the best academy in the country? We shared a room in the dorms with Richard. Soon after, I met Amanda, my wife. Richard's future wife introduced us. Then everything started falling into place. Obviously, only up till the Kersey's tragedy, which hit me and my wife hard. That's the past, though. There's nothing there for us now. Let's move on.
We take production very seriously, Mr. Van Haven. Our products meet ISO 35000, and the caffeine levels in our coffee are at the desirable level of 40 milligrams per 100 grams of product. On top of that, we offer innovative, personalized packaging designed to meet the customer's needs. What do you say?
Really, Mr. Oliver? You want to waste your time on all that marketing jargon? It
No.
doesn't impress me at all.
Fair enough. My mistake. I wanted to impress you with my professionalism, but I guess it came over a little stiff.
Fair enough. For me, the most important things in business are sincerity, openness, respect, and understanding. When someone fakes it, they put on a mask and the atmosphere is ruined. We're a similar
that was
age,
faking
we
it.
speak the same language. We can reach an understanding. I used to be interested in the effect of different cultures on negotiations. In Japan, there is a
Keep
need
listening.
for distance. Don't even dare to look someone in the eye. It's even harder with the Swedes. They're so serious. Oh, this is a good one. Do you know the difference between an introvert Finn and an extrovert one?
I really have no idea.
I was gonna have to answer that.
The first, throughout the whole conversation, looks at his shoes. The second looks at yours. It's a good one, isn't it?
Well, you can learn so much from visiting a client. But anyway, to get back to the aim of my visit, can we discuss the deal?
But of course, I was rambling, but you have to admit, it's a fascinating aspect of business.
All right, what should I go? Let's up it. Let's up it. Let's up it to... Man, just a little bit more, and it just gets like, if we go from $7.99 to $800, we increase the contract term management required to 40 hours plus 12 premium services. So we might as well go a normal sales margin here.
Your proposal exceeds my current capabilities. I suggest we cut the delivery charges, or just lower the product cost to compensate them. The price on the contract will then be lower by this percentage. That's a sensible concession, and I really can't offer any more than that.
That's too high a price for such a new company like mine, Mr. Van Haven. The market is saturated, and that's why we want to compete on quality, not price. When you were starting out, would you have agreed to these terms?
Unfortunately, yes, I would. My first contract was a disaster, but I thought that was the way it was. It's difficult at the beginning, but don't lose heart. Solid arguments can soften the heart of even the hardest businessmen. Do you have any?
Well, definitely our quality, which we have to persuade our suppliers about. They're very distrustful. Lots of them don't even want to meet like this. That's why I'm so grateful to you for being open to try new things. I'd like to earn your trust, but not at the cost of such a price reduction.
I understand you. When I started out, someone believed in me and trusted me too. Maybe that will happen here too if you can offer me a better deal. Let's start with cutting the delivery charges. They're the easiest thing to resign from to cost the value of the contract by this much.
Ask if Joseph has any doubts or needs to consult it with anyone. Emphasize that he isn't the one that should have any.
We both know your offer is too expensive. I'd have to discuss it with my boss, whereas I'm pretty sure you don't need to ask anyone else about such a small detail, right?
And that's where you're wrong, Mr. Oliver. I have a boss too, and I can tell you, he wasn't at all convinced about our meeting. Maybe he was right? I'll take a risk. Would a cut in delivery charges to reduce the price by this percentage be acceptable to you?
Okay, Mr. Van Haven. I can agree to those terms.
Great! You worked me hard, but I think the prospects for collaboration look interesting.
I did.
Let's sum up what we've established and sign the forms.
Not bad. Sales margin of 50%. That's not bad. I think I did good. Negotiating rating, good. I got it good. I got a good rating. That's good. Good is good, right? You feel like this game should have an MBA in the required spec? New contracts is the amount of 11,000 will be regularly transferred to the account within the next 18 weeks. Okay.
I should sum up what happened after that meeting.
All right. This is a weird game. I'll tell you that.
Van Haven's a good businessman. He welcomed me like an old friend and led me past the pictures.
That's the picture we saw, apparently.
Clients were supposed to see signs of Joseph's education and worth. But me? I spotted a young, cocky Richard with my Catherine. She had no idea what she had coming. The other woman was Amanda Van Haven. It must have been through their being two young married couples at the same time that Richard and Joseph became such close buddies. Joseph watched as I examined the photos. He smiled, apparently at the memories. He'd played this scene out hundreds of times. He told the story of what a close bunch they were, until the girls fell out over a trifle. What trifle? It's not even worth mentioning, nor anyone else, he added. Was he talking about the third woman in the picture?
I was wondering about the other person.
It puzzled me. Catherine never mentioned a conflict with Joseph's wife, Amanda Van Haven.
She's got gloves on.
And I never asked. I was, too busy falling in love with Kat. What trifle broke their long-term friendship? I wanted to ask after the negotiations. The telephone interrupted us. The call was from George McFowle with an urgent matter. Joseph chuckled. Another golden opportunity. And lifted the receiver. He pointed to his watch. It looked like it was going to be a long call. I nodded, gestured I'd give him a call, and left. It wasn't a good meeting. Van Haven kept talking right over me. On purpose? Or was he taking pity on me? Am I really that bad a salesperson? Regardless, he didn't tell me anything new about Richard's disappearance. At least he bought some coffee, though. Still, he seemed too cheerful to me as for someone whose close friend had gone missing recently. Or maybe they were friends in the past tense, just as he worded it by chance during our talk. One more thing was still troubling me. That missing painting from the Kersey's living room. Did its disappearance have anything to do with the case? And why did Richard take it to Joseph?
Click on business card. Okay. I did it. I clicked.
Clarabelle might know the answers. I rang and asked her. She thought the painting was a memento from the founder of the family, Shallard Kersey,
Shallard.
18th century. Why did it get sent to Joseph? She didn't know. So back to Van Haven. I called, pretending to be the Kersey's lawyer. Mr. Van Haven, I've been instructed by Clarabelle Kersey to draw up an inventory of the family's works of art. He bought it, so I asked. If he still had Richard's painting, he muttered something about calling back and hung up. Why? Joseph's reaction suggested the painting was a good lead. I need to check it out discreetly.
A good lead.
I'm curious about the
Hey,
other blonde in
Scarmold.
the photo. Why did the jovial Van Haven avoid mentioning her? Perhaps I'd get to ask her soon myself. Case closed for today. Time to get my head round the supplies for the new contract. I need to check the investigation board.
Who's this? What's this?
This is a good lead, but the information may cost me a lot.
I have to talk to somebody.
Now
Okay.
I need to set the new clues and data on the board.
Mysterious blonde. An ingenious businessman. Painting.
No, this one.
Oh. Urgent phone call, golden opportunity. Look at all those nerds. I don't think I can connect any of these. Two of 3 attempts available in this round. Best friends. Okay, well. Bam. We need 35 hours to manage another contract. Well, we're gonna have to hire somebody to manage that one then. Wait, what is that? That's the post-sales accounts management. It's a little truck icon. Alright. Everybody's priced the same.
You're hired. Welcome aboard.
There. Hiring somebody else. And we're making money. We're making money. That's good. We're also saving. Here.
This is a good read, but the information may cost me more.
Well, I have to go to the meeting.
I think that's all I've got for now. Let's
That's a
see
fu-
if there are any connections.
I guess I'll go.
But the Good morning, Mrs. Fink.
Good day, Mr. Oliver.
This is your room, isn't it? It's very interestingly decorated. What gave you the idea to use such bold colors?
You don't live here, Mr. Oliver. You don't have to like it.
No, not at all. It's interesting.
Interesting. Darker tones are more modest. And practical. They hide a multitude of sins.
Stains, perhaps?
Of course. We all leave some behind. Let's get down to business.
You've been in your boss's office on occasion, haven't you?
Of course. I go wherever I might be needed, Mr. Oliver.
No doubt. Anyway, in Joseph's...
Mr. Van Havens?
Yes, of course. I saw the photograph from his graduation there. You know the one.
Perhaps.
There are several people in it. I recognize them all but one. Icy blonde. Mr. Van Haven didn't want to speak about her. Why?
I'm not surprised. It's Britt Damolkfist. I have nothing to say about that woman.
So you know her then?
Woman.
Only from the photo, like you. That's all.
Sounds like you know more than that.
You looked after the Kersey's daughter, didn't you?
I did. I don't have children, but I stood in for her mother as best I could.
I'm sure you did. Clarabelle impressed me a great deal.
I'm pleased to hear it. She's a good girl, if a little scatterbrained.
You can understand, losing Mother at such a young age.
You too. People are too gentle with her. Miss Kersey was raised in conditions that many children could only dream of.
So she wanted for nothing.
Nothing at all.
How long have you worked for the Van Havens?
I do not work for
No.
them, Mr. Oliver. I run the house.
I
Okay.
gotta
like my
remember.
work too. How
I gotta
long
remember every
have you
dialogue
assisted
option
the Van Havens?
is not always right.
In 1 month, it will be 19 years.
Wow. Impressive.
Not really. I simply do what is required of me.
Reliably and discreetly?
Just so.
And yet you agreed to meet me and divulge the family secrets. Why?
I have my reasons. And any secrets I might tell you. They pose no threat to the Van Havens.
I know Richard Kersey and Mr. Van Haven were friends.
Pfft. Maybe they were once.
But their wives? Did Catherine Kersey and Amanda Van Haven get on well?
Them? I think they tried to maintain a level of decorum, in spite of everything.
Was there any conflict between them?
Nothing they ever mentioned. But before Kersey disappeared, there was that strange incident with the picture.
Picture?
Oh, forgive me. I was miles away. I worry an awful lot about how terribly expensive everything is getting. This damn government should be run out of office. Don't you agree?
Financially, I don't think you should have anything to worry about.
Very well. Shortly after his wife's death, Kersey brought Mr. Van Haven a picture. It was purportedly a family heirloom. Priceless.
Interesting. What happened?
Kersey was afraid of something. He asked for the painting to be looked after. Mr. Van Haven agreed at first. But then, you know how it is.
No. How is it?
Just think about it. Her husband never liked art. Then all of a sudden there's an enormous painting hanging in the living room. He suddenly got interested in interior design. You understand? Mrs. Van Haven is a smart woman. She was suspicious from the get-go.
I presume Mr. Haven didn't stand a chance.
Men never do, Mr. Oliver. He admitted he was only looking after the painting as a favor to Kersey. And when he mentioned what it was worth, and that it belonged to Catherine...
Poor guy.
Well, Mrs. Van Haven was furious. You could see that such an ostentatious reminder of a dead woman upset her. She ordered her husband to get rid of it immediately. Immediately!
So what became of the painting?
First, Mr. Van Haven tried to return it, but Kersey wouldn't hear of it. He said that, after Catherine's death, he couldn't have the painting in the house.
Immediately.
But Mr. Van Haven had to listen to his wife, didn't he?
He did, and the painting disappeared. I don't know what became of it.
Mrs. Fink, you're priceless.
Like the painting.
It would be rude to deny.
Mrs. Fink, is there anything else you want to tell me about? A clue or a piece of evidence that might help crack the Kersey case?
There is something. but the information will cost you.
I'm ready for that.
That photo you saw in Mr. Van Haven's office. Or rather, its print.
Go on.
This is it. Do you know whose face has been scraped off it?
Wait. That's Catherine Kersey, isn't it? Signed Viper.
Precisely.
Where did you get it?
From Mrs. Van Haven's personal album. She thinks she lost it, but won't ask the staff, of course. Keeping a photo like that would be a little strange, to say the least.
You mentioned it might cost me. How much for the photo?
That's why I met you. I want this much for it.
Well, I don't have much of a choice.
That's fine by me, Mrs. Fink. That's a fair price. And if it leads me to Kersey, it will even be a noble act.
Do you have any idea how much I paid at the hairdresser's last time? I've had the same style for 20 years, and they tried to rip me off like some naive tourist.
That's scandalous, Mrs. Fink.
Scandalous.
Allow me to cover the costs of your next visit.
And the colouring? I can't look like I was getting old now.
Of course, the coloring too. Will that do it?
It'll have to. I'm not a beggar, Mr. Oliver.
It never crossed my mind, Mrs. Fink.
Good luck, Mr. Oliver. That is all I have for you. Farewell.
Here you go. Here's some money. Here's some cash money.
Need to check the investigation board.
Oh, now I can meet with somebody else. Who's
This is
this?
a good lead.
10,000?
Cost me a lot.
Oh, man.
Now I need to set the new clues and data on the board.
AutoConnect will find existing connection between... Oh, it costs us money. I don't want to do that.
That's it. Some great deduction skills, Oliver.
Yeah, look at that. We got a connection. I do like that if you click this, it'll tell you there's a connection to be found. That's nice. I mean, we can connect these two, right?
I think these are all the connections. I still need to move the investigation further and get more clues.
All right.
This is a good lead, but the information may cost me a lot.
How much money do we have now? We got money. Okay. You know, I think we should just visit this guy. Is there any reason not to? We got cash on hand. Yes, that is true. That is true. Little computer people definitely inspired The Sims. You're at home now with your cat. That's awesome. This is my dream, owning a coffee business. Oh, here's Regulus. There's his tail. Yep. He did say that. I can't find any other games like it. Between Little Computer People and The Sims, there's nothing. And I looked. I was like, hey, there's story pages. I didn't know that was a thing. Never told me about that. Don't I have to produce stuff? I have to produce stuff. Don't forget to do that. Let's just push that all the way up. All right. Does that change our finances? It does. Since we're making stuff, we're gonna have less money. But we're still gonna make a profit, so that's okay. All right, I guess I'll meet with this
is a good
guy.
lead, but the information may cost me a lot.
Make you a coffee. I don't make coffee. I just sell the coffee that you need to make the coffee. Wait, who is this guy?
Hello, Mr. Pensy. Thank you for agreeing to meet and to discuss such sensitive matters for you.
Good day, Mr. Oliver. What matters are you speaking of?
The deaths of Catherine and Richard's disappearance.
Ah.
Yes, I have a few questions for you.
Naturally. I would ask only that this conversation stayed between you and I. How can I help you?
You've known Clarabelle since she was a child, haven't you?
That's right.
Why didn't you then become her guardian after her father's disappearance?
She was never my responsibility, Mr. Oliver. I looked after the house. Care of the child was the responsibility of the Van Havens.
Yes, Clarabelle mentioned it. How did that come about?
It was Van Haven's idea. After her mother's death, Clarabelle needed a female hand. The Van Havens' housekeeper seemed an ideal choice. And Mr. Richard wasn't around, so the assistance of Mrs. Fink seemed appropriate. He agreed, and since then, the little lady merely slept here.
I see. You said that Richard wasn't around?
Yes. Mr. Richard spent most of the year abroad. He had to oversee the family plantations. Even while his wife was alive, he was at home maybe 3 months a year.
And after her death, his daughter wasn't enough to keep him around? One thing puzzles me. Why didn't he take his daughter with him?
To that jungle? A 10-year-old?
Okay. Sorry I asked.
Hey, Dunk Donuts.
We did the right thing, Mr. Oliver, entrusting her to the Van Havens. I adore the little lady, but I wasn't the right person to bring her up. Mrs. Fink brought her up well and gave her some love, I hope.
I see. And after Clarabelle moved out, Did you keep in touch?
Of course. She can always count on me.
So, you get on well.
Yes, and it will be even better when Mr. Richard returns.
Will he return?
I'm sure of it. Is there anything more I can do for you?
What exactly is your name, Mr. Pensy?
What a peculiar question.
I mean your first name. I'm just curious. Clarabelle couldn't tell me. To her, you're just Pensy.
My first name is... What is all this nonsense, Mr. Oliver? Get to the point.
Of course. I was curious. What does the famous Kersey coffee taste like?
Are you asking if I ever tasted it?
Well, did you?
With my blood pressure, it wouldn't be recommended.
But you did try it.
I did.
I knew it. What was it like?
Well, it was a long time ago.
But you must remember.
I'd rather not. Let's change the subject.
Mrs. Fink mentioned that after Catherine's death, Richard gave Joseph a picture to look after. Apparently, it stirred up a heap of trouble.
That old tart. She spoke to you. That's how she treats professional secrecy.
You know the story?
The picture? I do. There was a bit of a fuss.
Good. Tell me all about it.
What do you want to know?
Would I do good? I don't know. Would I be a good detective slash business coffee manager person? I don't know.
How large is the picture?
Quite large. About a square meter or so. It was intended to attract attention, and it did an excellent job.
I see. What is it of?
The Kersey's first coffee plantation, the one in Guyana, from where the family's fortune derives, or at least what's left of it when Mr. Richard returns.
Aha, so the picture shows a coffee harvest.
Yes, I suppose so.
Is there anything else I should know about the picture? Anything special about it?
I told you it was a triptych, didn't I?
No. What's that?
A painting on 3 canvases. The central piece is the largest and presents, as it were, the heart of the picture. The smaller canvases supplement it. They apparently place the center image in more context, give it depth. All I cared about was that it wasn't dusty.
That's very interesting. Mrs. Fink said nothing about it being in 3 parts.
When the Van Havens got it, it wasn't. At the beginning of the last century, Mr. Richard's grandfather gave the side canvases to the British Museum. Only the centerpiece remained with the family.
How did Richard come by it?
Lionel Kersey, Mr. Richard's father, gave it to Miss Catherine as a wedding present.
Wouldn't he have inherited it anyway after his father's death?
I suppose so. But maybe, perhaps Mr. Lionel also wanted rid of it for some reason.
You think so?
No, but you have to admit it's a possibility.
I'm all ears, Mr. Pensy. What is this information?
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to give him 10,000.
Someone else may be looking for the picture, Mr. Oliver. It is important to me that Mr. Richard doesn't lose his family heirloom.
And so that's why he wanted to store it at the Van Havens, to protect it from theft.
So I suspect.
I see. Who else wants it?
The person in question is most likely George MacPhail. He asked me once if I knew anything about the story connected with the painting. He's an acquaintance of Mr. Richard since way back when. He's an interesting type, if I can describe him
Interesting,
so.
you say?
Why would he be looking
Type,
for
you
it?
say?
Selling a well-known picture like that means you're almost sure to get caught.
Sell it? No, not at all. You see, this is no ordinary picture.
What do you mean?
Mr. Richard appreciates fine alcohol, if you get my drift. Mr. MacPhail, too. One evening, they appreciated some whiskey so enthusiastically they woke me up. I went to ask if everything was all right, and it was then when I heard Mr. Richard say, apparently the picture holds a secret.
So the picture may be more than just a
A
keepsake.
secret, you say?
That's a puzzle.
We do not need to solve it, Mr. Oliver. Please, just get the picture back. When Mr. Richard returns, I want him to see I've looked after the family's interests.
Thanks, Mr. Pensy. Something eating you?
Of late, I've had some unplanned expenses. As a gentleman, I'd rather not go into the details.
Uh-huh. Were these details expensive?
Fairly.
Would this much compensate you for all the stress?
Perhaps. That and your assurance that this conversation will remain between us.
You already gave me
And
the
my money
information.
will
Why am
remain
I
between
paying
us
him?
too.
It would appear so. Thank you for your understanding, Mr. Oliver.
I'm a dingus.
Need
I'm
to
paying
check the
people
investigation
after
report.
I talk to them. That's dingus. That's a dingus move there. Dingus counter up 1. I got more clues though.
Now I need to set the new clues and data on the board.
Chapter complete. Some secret information was encrypted in that painting. Interesting.
I think these are all the connections. I still need to move the investigation further and get more clues.
Alright, I think we can move to the next week.
Should I move the investigation forward or wait and make some more cash instead?
We're going to the next chapter. Screw cash. We want progress.
I got back late today. I poured a glass and turned on the TV. It wasn't a good idea.
Also forgot to start the timer, so I think we're 20 minutes off.
Breaking news. Joseph Van Haven, the coffee entrepreneur, has been reported missing.
What?
Just like recently another coffee supplier and close friend of his, Richard Kersey, was. Maybe someone will start looking for them before we run out of coffee here in London. What are the police doing? All I see is them standing in line outside the Black Mug. Can't the Kerseys afford a private investigation? I thought they were rich.
Van Haven? First, he hangs up when asked about the painting. Now, he disappears. He can't be hiding from me, if he's in hiding. If he's even still alive. I've got to make headway with this case. Funny thing, it seems that this investigation will need me to make and spend a lot of money to get anywhere near the truth. Going bankrupt with the company means the end of the investigation. Where the hell is that sly dog Richard? Whose toe did he step on? Did he willingly abandon his daughter in Neo-London for good? Is it one of those cases where the truth is hidden and tangled in a decades-old web spined by guilt, hate, money, and broken promises, or badly ended friendships?
Excellent, good. Current debt none. Current cash 31,000.